Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome to our virtual orientation with UCLA summer sessions. This orientation is going to be for students enrolled in our summer courses, 3-week summer intensives, or summer online courses. So today in this orientation, we'll be going over the following topics. We'll start off with highlighting important sites to remember, and then we'll dive into how to get help, who to reach out to, discussing grades and transcripts, how to determine housing, the student conduct policies for all of our visiting students, and then finishing it off with campus resources and tips for success for how to make the most of your time with us during the summer term. So for our first section, these are 5 important sites that we'd like to highlight. You'll become well aware and acquainted with all of these sites by the end of the summer term. In the coming slides, each of these sites will have QR codes listed, so feel free to take out your phone while watching this orientation, scan the QR code so you can open it directly to the sites that we're discussing. The very first site we'd like to highlight is the schedule of classes. You can think of this as your main campus directory. It will offer a full listing of all the classes that will be available to take during the summer term. Here you'll be able to filter to find the courses that are perfect for your interest and schedule, and it will show important class details such as time and place, number of spaces available, and so on. I'm actually going to exit out of this PowerPoint and show you all what the actual schedule of classes website looks like and how to navigate it. So you can get to this website by simply Googling UCLA schedule of classes, or you can scan the QR code that was on our PowerPoint. The first thing, though, that I'd like to mention and bring to your attention when you open the schedule of classes is this note right here in terms of picking the correct term. So you see in yellow, it can get a little complicated because we do have 2 different summer terms. So in this case, we have summer sessions 2024 versus summer 2024. For everyone watching this orientation, the term you'll want to select is summer sessions 2024. The other term mentioned is only for students in our self-supporting graduate degree program. So you'll scroll down here to select the right term. In this case, at the time of filming this orientation, Summer Sessions 2024 is not yet set up and open. So we're going to select the one from the previous year, which is Summer Sessions 2023. And then you'll see a couple of other filter options. The first one being where you can filter for specific session dates. So this is a really good option if you have a really strong idea of when you want to be participating with us during the summer term, and if you can only be taking courses during a specific time period. The other filter option is by search criteria. So you can search by subject area, mode of instruction, such as online, and other university requirements. We recommend just searching, though, by subject area. Now, when you go to the search bar, it will have a drop-down menu of all the different options for the subject area. You don't get to type in your own subject that you're thinking of. It is going to be constrained to the subject areas of our UCLA academic departments. So definitely take a scroll through this and choose the one that is closest to whatever subject area you may be thinking of. In the example that we'll be doing today, the subject that we're looking at is chemistry. So if you just start typing in chemistry, you'll see these are the options here. The main department for our chemistry courses is chemistry and biochemistry. So I'll select that one and then click go. Now the page will refresh and it will now show us all the chemistry courses that are offered during the summer sessions term. And you'll see all the class titles listed here. And if you click on the specific class title, you'll see important class information. So for Chem 14A, the first thing you'll see is the session that it's taking place, the dates that it's covering, which in this case it's June 26th through August 4th, lasting for 6 weeks. And then right below that, you'll see other class information, such as the number of spaces available, 12 spaces for Chem 14A in this case, the day and time it's taking place, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:50 a.m., the mode of instruction and location. So if it is an online course, like in this example, Chem 14A, it will just say online. However, if it is an in-person course, it will have a physical building and room number listed for the in-person location. And then lastly, you can see the number of units it's worth and the instructor. Now, the way that UCLA classes are set up is you'll have the main lecture, and oftentimes paired with the main lecture is a discussion section or a lab section that meets once or twice a week outside of lecture. So if your course does have a corresponding discussion or lab section, you'll see a drop-down arrow in the blue select column. And if you select that arrow, you'll see then the discussion or lab section options. So for Chem 14A, there are 6 different discussion section options. You only need to enroll in one discussion section, and you can see the times and days and other information for each discussion section listed here. Now, the last thing to talk about with our schedule of classes is if you want to see a little bit more information, you can actually click on the hyperlinked lecture button. It will open up a new tab. It will show you all the information we saw on the previous page, but it will also show some additional information, such as the grade type, whether or not you can take the class for letter grade or pass no pass. It will also show course requisites, so showing if there's prior knowledge and experience that is required for the course. Now, for our visiting summer students, you aren't required to provide proof of meeting these course requisites. However, we obviously strongly recommend that you do have the necessary prior experience that they are listing out here in order to best guarantee your success in the class. And then right below that is a more thorough course description as well that you can read through. And so that pretty much sums it up for our schedule of classes. And now we'll move on to the second site, which is your MyUCLA account. Hopefully everyone watching this orientation is already familiar with this and you've already created your MyUCLA account. But if you haven't, no worries, we'll be discussing it here. So you can think of your MyUCLA account as your home portal where you can do a lot of different actions. You can update your personal information like your email or address. You can add third-party access. You can do all your enrollment actions like adding or dropping classes, changing your grade type. You can view your grades and order transcripts after the summer term has ended. And then lastly, but very importantly, you will be making your payment for your course tuition fees here as well. So this is a screenshot of what your MyUCLA account will look like after you log in. And the first tab or section that I want to bring your attention to is the Settings tab. So under the Settings tab, which you can find in the top of the page in the light blue bar, you'll see this drop-down menu here. And the areas that we want to focus on here is the official email, address, and phone section, and then third-party access. So it's really important that you do take the time to check your official email, especially in your settings, because this email listed here will be the way that your instructors will be mainly communicating to you. So you want to make sure it's an email that you're checking regularly and that you have access to. Now, when some of you go to check your official email, you may see that it's a UCLA email listed there. So all visiting students are also given UCLA emails ending in ucla.edu. Now, we do recommend that for our visiting students, you do keep your personal email or your home institution's email as your official email. And that is because your UCLA email, you'll lose access to that and all of its contents by the end of the summer term. So if you want to keep for your record all your email communication that you may have with your professors or other important email communication you get during the summer, we recommend that you set it to your personal email or your home institution school email. But if you want to keep it as your UCLA email, as your official email, that's more than okay. You can access your UCLA email by going to the website g.ucla.edu. The second thing I wanted to highlight under the Settings tab is the third-party access. So it's important to remember that at the university level, student information is protected. So third-party access is a way for you to grant access to your student records to another third party, which in most cases you're granting it to your parents or guardians. You can choose which features they get access to, such as your grades, email reminders, but in most cases, students are granting third-party access to their parents or guardians in order to give them access to your Bruin bill or your payment information, so they're able to make financial payments for you. The other tab that I want to bring to your attention is the Classes tab. So the Classes tab on MyUCLA has a lot of actions that you can do. And the first set of actions I'd like to highlight is the enrollment actions. So you've gone through the schedule of classes, you found your desired classes that you hope to enroll in, and so now you got to proceed with actually enrolling. So you'll do that here on MyUCLA, going to the Classes tab, and then looking under the Plan and Enroll section. There, you'll select Find a Class and Enroll, and from there, it's pretty straightforward. You just want to make sure you're selecting the correct term and putting in the class information, and then clicking Enroll. After you do enroll in your classes, there are other enrollment actions that you can take, such as changing the grade type, if you want to change it between a letter grade or pass, no pass. You can also drop a class if you change your mind and decide you either no longer want to take it or you want to switch it out for a different class. So you can do all enrollment actions here under the Classes tab. There's also the Grades and Transcripts section, which here you can check your exam and homework grades, your final grades and GPA after the summer terms has ended, and also you can order an official transcript to be sent to any future university or institution or to your home university or institution. The last section under the Classes tab that's important is the study list. So the study list is actually going to show your main full enrollments. So this is a great place to check to make sure that you're fully enrolled and to take a look at all your classes that you're enrolled in. This is actually what the study list looks like. And so in this example, you can tell that this student is enrolled in 2 summer courses for a total of 8 units. You can see all the information such as the session it's taking place in, the dates and number of weeks it's covering, the class title, of course. You can also see all the information you saw on the schedule of classes, the day and time it's meeting, mode of instruction, the instructors. You can also see the grade type, whether you're taking the class for letter grade or pass, no pass. And you can also see the final exam date if it's set already and listed. But if it's not set, then you'll see something like what you're seeing in this screenshot where it just say consult the instructor. And then lastly, there is a hyperlink to the class website of your course, which I'll be going into more detail about the class websites in future coming slides. Another thing to really be on the lookout for when you're looking at your study list is to see if any of your classes have the impacted notation, if it says it's an impacted course. So if it is an impacted course, you'll see something like you see on the screenshot where it says impacted highlighted. And impacted courses at UCLA basically just means that these courses have a high demand. A lot of students want to take these courses, but unfortunately, there's not enough number of seats available. So the number of students wanting to take the course exceeds the number of spaces available. And because of this high demand, these impacted courses have stricter drop and refund deadlines. And that's why it's really important for you to make note if any of your enrolled courses are impacted or not, because it will then in turn impact the deadlines that apply to the course. You can always take a look at an impacted courses master list by Googling that link that you see on the screen or scanning the QR code listed here. Okay? Another note about enrollments is our waitlist policy. So some of you may be in the situation where you went to go enroll in a course, but it's already at capacity. So if a course does reach capacity, you can place yourself on the waitlist if there are waitlisted spaces available. There is a deadline, though, to get off the waitlist. You have until the end of day, Friday of week 1 of the course to get off the waitlist. Unfortunately, if a space doesn't become available by this deadline, you will be dropped from the waitlist and dropped from the course. We get a lot of questions asking, what are my chances of getting off the waitlist? And unfortunately, it's very hard to give a concrete answer for that as it does vary for each class and vary from year to year. But you can know that while you're on the waitlist, you will still have access to the class website and all the class assignments. So make sure, even if you're on the waitlist still during that week 1 of class, still make sure you're attending, still make sure you're turning in assignments due that week because you don't want to get behind if you're able to get off the waitlist during that week. You will not be notified, though, about movement on the waitlist. It's your responsibility to consistently check your enrollment status on your study list on your MyUCLA account. So, for example, if you are currently number 1 on the waitlist, it will say that. But when a space does open up, it will automatically enroll you and change you from it saying 1 on the waitlist to fully enrolled. And so you'll want to just check your study list for those changes. Lastly, one thing to keep in mind for the waitlisted courses is you will still be expected to pay the tuition fees for a waitlisted course by our payment deadline. But if you fail to get off by the Friday of week 1 deadline and you get dropped from the wait list, don't worry, you'll get issued automatically a full refund. So there's no financial consequence if you do fail to get off the wait list. You will get a full refund of your payment. And then the last tab we want to highlight with your MyUCLA account is the Finances and Jobs tab, which is where you will find your Bruin bill, which is where you'll make payment. So how to pay, you log into your MyUCLA account. Like I said earlier, go to the Finances and Jobs tab and then go to Bruin bill. And then once you're in your Bruin bill, you'll select Make a Payment on the left-hand side. And then there are various payment methods that are accepted. We accept credit card. Just note that if you do pay by credit card, there is a 2.79% fee. There's also an option to pay by electronic check, e-check, if through your savings or checkings account. We have accept cash, check, or money orders. And then for our international students or for anyone who has foreign international bank accounts, you can pay by foreign currency payments. Okay, so that covers it all for MyUCLA. But now I'm going to move on to highlight BruinLearn, which is your classroom portal. So if you're familiar with Canvas at all, BruinLearn is exactly Canvas. It's just our fancy UCLA term to call Canvas. So BruinLearn is essentially the same thing as Canvas. And this is where you'll be able to find professor and TA contact information. You'll be able to look at the class syllabus, which has important information like office hours, how the class is graded, important assignments and exam dates. You'll be able to submit your class assignments on here and view other course materials like reading materials. And then if you're taking it as an online class, you'll be able to find Zoom links here as well. So this is what the main dashboard will look like. You'll see your enrolled classes and each individual websites on the main dashboard. So in this student's case, they're enrolled in 4 courses total, 3 different econ courses, and a food studies course. And then you'll select the specific course that you want to select. And it will look like this once you enter it, which will show all the modules, the different lectures, and then you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a lot of different options, such as an assignments tab, a grades tab, a syllabus for where you can view the syllabus, a Zoom link for where Zoom links may be located. So this is what BruinLearn looks like. We also have a BruinLearn tutorial that's pretty short, and if you have the time, you can go and take the time to watch the BruinLearn tutorial specifically. The fourth website we'd like to highlight is the textbook site. So at the college level, and how UCLA works is you are responsible for acquiring any mandatory textbooks for the classes. So UCLA does have a UCLA store that has a specific textbook section of the store where it acts as a one-stop shop to search for and buy all the textbooks that are required for your classes. So if you can see in the screenshot here, once you go to the textbook section of the UCLA store website, you can put in your class information and it will pull up the required textbooks and you can purchase them to be either picked up in store or shipped to you. So it's a very convenient site. However, please, please, please keep in mind that the UCLA store is not the only place you can buy your textbooks from. It is a very convenient option, but of course, if you want to buy from Amazon or rent from Amazon or Chegg or third party, friends and family, by all means, you do not have to utilize the textbook store at UCLA. And then the very last, but certainly not least website we'd like to highlight is our summer sessions website, which I hope is another site you all are already experienced with and are familiar with. Here you can find important dates and deadlines, our academic policies and forms. You can also find a Bruin guide on there, which is basically our written form of this orientation that you can have for your own records and really has all the great information that you need, such as a pre-arrival checklist for you to review and make sure you have everything all set before you come this summer. And then, of course, you have our summer sessions office contact information. I'm actually going to exit out of this PowerPoint again just to show you the website as well. So if you just type in summer.ucla.edu, this is our website here. And the most important section probably for you to be aware of is our key dates and deadlines page, which you can always find by clicking the arrow in the yellow bar at the very top of the page, or you can go to our calendar and deadlines section as well. When you click here, you can scroll down And the very first section is for those of you enrolled in summer courses, summer online or summer intensives. And you'll find all the important deadlines such as the session dates, payment deadlines, international student application deadlines, enrollment ad deadlines, and so forth. So definitely make sure that you take the time to come to this page, bookmark this page, find and write the dates down that apply to you, and keep those dates in mind. Okay? Of course, there's other sections as well, like the Student Services tab, which has our enrollment and academics policies and downloadable forms. And then, of course, you can go to our Contact Us page where you can find our contact information like our email, open office hours, and phone number. Okay, so that finishes up our section discussing important websites. And now we'll move on to kind of who to reach out to when you need help, because that was a lot of information for many of the people watching this. This is your first time taking classes with us here at UCLA, and so it can be really overwhelming or confusing to figure out who you may need to go talk to or where to even start. So, of course, you can start with our summer sessions office. Here we can really discuss with you and provide academic advising, like on what courses you should take, kind of what actions you should take, whether you should stay enrolled, change the grading basis, discussions like that. We can also clarify questions regarding academic policy and deadlines, address any issues with registration and enrollment, and then connect you with campus resources that we have that I'll also be talking about later in this orientation. Now, the second a group of people that you should think to reach out to is, of course, your instructor and teaching assistant, or TAs. Here at UCLA, teaching assistants, TAs, they're graduate level students here at UCLA, and they assist the instructor in the classes. They oftentimes lead the discussion sections, and they're another great resource to speak with, especially if you're in a larger lecture class that has a lot of other students in. The TAs can be another great person to reach out to, but outside of the instructor. But it's really important for you to reach out to them if you're going to miss any class or have any class conflicts. If you have, of course, any questions regarding course material and content, if you have any questions regarding grades. And also, if you want to attend their office hours, all instructors and TAs at UCLA are required to have office hours, which think of as an open office policy, where specific times throughout the week, they'll be able to open up their office to let you go in out, to speak with them outside a lecture and ask them any questions about the material or connect with them and network with them in any way. So definitely don't underestimate and don't underutilize office hours. Now moving on, we're going to start talking about grades and transcripts. Everyone here enrolled in these courses is probably looking to obtain academic credit. And so this is, of course, an important part to discuss for those of you enrolled and planning on taking summer courses with us during the summer term. So something to highlight is UCLA, we do work on the 4.0 grade point scale. Uh, One thing that some of you may not be familiar with is that pluses and minuses do impact GPA. So for example, an A minus is not a 4.0 weight, it is actually a 3.7 weight. And then you can see the breakdown further in this table listed here. Now we get a lot of the same types of questions when it comes to kind of grading and all that here at UCLA. One of the first things we get asked, especially with our high school students, is, what is considered a good grade in college, or it's something you may be stressing about. I'd like to take this time here to really stress and emphasize that uh, getting straight A's in college is not the norm. Of course, that's what everyone hopefully strives for, but an A is not the only good grade in college. And also, you all are adjusting to school here at UCLA, the quarter system, a really condensed class. So definitely be aware of that and mindful of that when you are looking at your grades after the summer term ends. But also wishing everyone gets A's in their classes for the summer term. The second question we often get asked is, what is a curve? How does it work? Basically, grading on a curve is a way instructors can adjust the overall scores or grades for their students. Oftentimes, grading on a curve really helps students. For example, say the highest grade earned on the midterm exam was a 90%, the instructor can curve it so that the 90% is the top grade or essentially adjusted to 100%. And then everyone else's grades are adjusted accordingly as well. So the curve isn't necessarily something to fear. It more often than not is meant to help students. And then lastly, we oftentimes get asked, should I take my class for a pass, no pass, or for letter grade? And really, this is a very personal decision, and it's going to be up to you and whatever your circumstances are for the summer. Things to keep in mind is that letter grade it does affect your GPA, so it is going to be part of that 4.0 grading point system. And also, you want to think about transferring. If you're planning on transfer these credits to your university or a future university you attend, some of them are very strict and require that you have taken the course for a letter grade. Alternatively, pass, no pass is a great option where it doesn't impact your GPA. And if you don't want to necessarily focus so much on that and have more flexibility in the class, then definitely pass, no pass is a great option. Something to note is that a grade of C minus or lower is considered non-passing. So even if you're taking the course for pass, no pass, essentially you'll still be graded on the A through F scale. And then if you get a C minus or lower, you'll see a no pass on your transcript. But if you get a C or better, it will be considered a pass. And then once you receive your final grades, all visiting summer-only students do receive a grade on an official UCLA transcript. So you can order this transcript conveniently online on your MyUCLA account, like I mentioned earlier. It's found underneath the Classes tab. Some things to note is there's no cost for it. You've already technically paid for ordering transcripts when you paid the tuition fees. So unless you're needing to expedite shipping, there's no cost for you ordering transcripts. You can order an unlimited amount of transcripts and send it to as many institutions or universities you need to. There's also no time limit, so you do not lose access to your MyUCLA account, and you can order transcripts years and years into the future. Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're no longer really going to talk about academics, and we're going to talk about housing now, which it is really important for you to finalize and determine your housing plans for the summer and what you plan to do. So there is optional housing in UCLA dorms that is available during the summer term. But one thing to note is that you must be 17 years or older by the start of the summer term. So if unfortunately you're going to be 16 or under, you're a high school student taking classes with us this summer. If you're not 17 yet, you will not be able to stay in UCLA dorms. So really, really be mindful of your age by the start of summer term when considering UCLA housing. There is a separate housing application form that's handled through the UCLA Housing Office. So they're a completely separate office from us. This form does become available typically in late April, sometimes early May. And all the payment deadlines for housing do adhere to UCLA housing deadlines. So any questions that you do have in regards to housing during the summer term, you'll want to direct to UCLA Housing's office. And you can scan the QR code here on this page, and it will take you to the summer UCLA housing page. There, you'll also be able to see the various room types and meal plan options. And know that if you are going to be staying with us during the summer term, the dorm rooms include a bed, desk, closet, trash bin, and bedding basics like pillow and blankets. So you don't need to worry about bringing your own pillow or blankets if you don't want to. And then the other box on this slide is important contacts. So you can save these phone numbers listed and also just keep them in mind. Of course, you can contact our summer sessions office at the number listed. Here on campus, we also have our own police department, UCPD. You can save their phone number listed here. When you move into the dorms, you'll meet the residential staff and they may share with you their phone numbers. And then the other contact and safety resource is our Bruin Safe Online. It's a website, but it's also an app that you can download on your phone, and it provides updates if there's any incidents on campus. Now, moving on to a little bit more serious topic, which is student conduct policies and violations. We do need to pause and take time to really emphasize that whether you're a continuing UCLA student or just a visiting student with us for one summer term, you are expected to adhere to UCLA True Bruin values of respect, accountability, integrity, service, and excellence. Uh, Conduct violations will result in disciplinary actions. So please keep in mind you can be suspended and dismissed from UCLA summer sessions. So we do take our conduct seriously. You do need to make sure you follow our student code of conduct. Some examples of violations include academic dishonesty. So this includes cheating, plagiarism, use of AI when it's not permitted, unauthorized collaboration and working with other people in your class, theft, damage, or destruction of property, whether that's university property or someone else's property, use of offensive language, whether that be racial, homophobic, or sexist in nature, none of that's permitted, use of illegal substances and tobacco products. So please keep in mind UCLA is a tobacco-free campus. You cannot be using tobacco products on our campus. Possession of weapons of any kind is not permitted. Threatening and indecent behavior like stalking, hazing, bullying is not permitted. And of course, discrimination, whether that be racial discrimination, sexual discrimination, or gender-based discrimination, is not permitted and can result in suspension and dismissal from UCLA summer sessions. Okay, now that the serious slide is over with, we'd like to now head into the last part of this orientation session, which is campus resources. So on this slide, we'll be highlighting 8 different campus resources. They're all available to our visiting students and UCLA students during the summer term. We definitely want you to take advantage of the resources that we have to offer to all of our students in order for you to get the most out of your time with UCLA. The first resource to highlight is, of course, our library. You are here taking classes during the summer term. I know it's not the most fun to be spending time in the library during the summer, but we do have many different libraries on campus. Our 2 biggest libraries is Powell Library and Charles E. Young Research Library. At these libraries, you can, of course, study there. You can rent out laptops or chargers. You can get help with research. And, of course, you can reserve study rooms. The second resource to highlight is our Writing Center. This is open to all of our students for any assistance at any point in time during their essay or writing journey for whatever assignments they have with classes. So whether that be at the start with brainstorming or writing an outline for your essay, or at the end having them review your essay, you can set up a one-on-one appointment with staff or current UCLA undergrad students to work with you at any point during your writing process. The third resource is our Center for Accessible Education, or CAE for short. This is our accommodations office. So whether you have an invisible or visible disability, this is where you can set up academic accommodations. If you need extra time on a test and you need to take it in a separate room, this is a really important resource for those of you who really need to set up accommodations with us. We also have our own doctor's office on campus called the Ash Health Center. So this is where students, if obviously for non-emergencies, you can go to be seen by a doctor. Of course, if there is a medical emergency, you should call 911 and go to a full hospital, but this is a convenient location on campus for our students. We also have the Bruin Card office. So all visiting students are permitted and allowed to get a free Bruin Card, which is your UCLA student identification card. You will be able to pick one up from the Bruin Card office once your classes start. You just need to upload a photo on their website beforehand, before you go pick it up. Oftentimes this Bruin Card, it's not optional for you to get, but if you do get it, it will allow you to get access to a lot of campus facilities. UCLA also has our very own Career Center. So this is a great resource for those of you who may want help in reviewing your resume, reviewing your cover letter, interview prep. It's a great professional resource option and open to all of our visiting students. UCLA Recreation, so they oversee a lot of our campus facilities, such as the gym, but also our volleyball courts, basketball courts, tennis courts, swimming pools. You will need a Bruin card to enter these facilities, but like I said earlier, you do get a free Bruin card if you want to go pick it up, and then you can use that Bruin card to enter all the different UCLA recreation facilities on campus. And then last but not least, we have UCLA Transportation. So we do have our very own busing system in the Westwood UCLA neighborhood, but also for any students who may be commuting or bringing a car this summer, you'll want to visit the UCLA Transportation website to become familiar with the parking policies and pricing, as well as what it may cost if you want to buy a parking permit as well. All right. This brings us to our last slide, which is finishing off with tips for success to really make sure that you have all the tools and resources in mind and ready to take advantage of your short time with us here at UCLA during the summer term. We just talked about 8 great resources here at UCLA, and that's the first tip for success, which is take advantage of these resources. I cannot stress that enough. They're available and here for you, so definitely look into them, take advantage of them, use them in whatever way you may need. They are a great resource for our UCLA students and our visiting students. Our second tip is to reach out as early as possible. This is the summer term, so keep in mind that a lot of these classes are condensed in nature. They're much more fast-paced. It can get really easy to get behind, so make sure you reach out to our office, to your professor, to your classmates as early as possible. Go to their office hours, which I mentioned earlier. It's a great opportunity to connect with your professor or TAs and get support when needed in your class and coursework. Make sure you assess your study habits as well. Some of you may already have great study habits in place, but again, these classes are very fast paced, they're condensed, so it may take some adjustment, and you should assess your note taking, your organization, and make changes and adapt where needed. Also, I mentioned and showed you all the key dates and deadlines page on our website. There's a lot of different dates and deadlines. Also, you have all your exam dates and important class assignment dates. So it would be great option for you all to make a master schedule of important dates. Keep that on your phone or print it out at your desk so you make sure you don't lose track or miss any important dates and deadlines. And then the very last tip for success is, while cheesy to say, it is necessary to always remind everyone to be kind to yourself, both mind and body. This is the summer. This is the summer term. We want you all to enjoy yourselves as well. Don't be super stressed, and enjoy your time with UCLA during the summer term. And that really brings us now to the end of our orientation. Again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and learn about everything that we have to offer here with UCLA Summer Sessions. I hope you really enjoy your time with us this summer and also get the academic credit that you need. If you do have any additional questions or need anything clarified, please reach out to us. We have our contact information listed here on this last page. You can reach out to us via email or phone number, or even visit us in person at Murphy Hall. Thank you again, and wishing you all the best summer ahead. Bye.